Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Emily Wishaw with Wishaw Wellness Live in Alignment here today with Todd for my interview for December. And Dawn is the founder of Wildly Successful Women and a feminine business coach who really helps women through work with consciousness to increase their cash flow, which I think is a fascinating topic. I so love and admire and respect Dawn and what she has created, and so I'm really looking forward to diving in with her a little bit about your wisdom.
Thank you for having me, Emily. I'm really excited. Emily is the bomb, guys. She's so amazing, an incredible body worker and an incredible coach. Like, you've got that package tied up. You're an amazing woman.
Thank you.
Really blessed to know you. So
thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. So I would we're just going to dive in.
Yeah.
And being the end of the year, I know a lot of us are creating our goals, our intentions for 2018 and moving forward. Dawn also has a background as a body worker, was a massage therapist for many years. And so I love the connection she brings of our body into our business, or even if you're not a business owner, really how your relationship with your body affects how much you enjoy your life or the life that you're wanting to create.
Right.
And I think often when we're working with goal setting or creating the life you desire, our body gets left out of that equation, which I think is really unfortunate. So I would love just to talk, what does that mean, manifestation of goals, desires, and how does that relate to your body, and what does it mean to embody your desires, and how can we?
Yeah, I think that's a great topic to talk about for a minute, because desires are so they really are what drive our goals and our intentions. And I think really owning your desires and being completely okay with what's bubbling up within you and what you're feeling in your body. And I think, like you said, we're leaving our body behind in so many conversations. Like, it's not like how we feel in our body isn't the common conversation about business.
Yeah.
And but interestingly, our felt sense, how we feel in our body, is almost always a direct channel to what our soul wants to experience. And that's where the power comes in manifesting. And we're in business, we make the most money when we're deeply aligned with what we're here to do, right?
Yeah.
Deeply connected to our soul calling, I guess I'll say. Yeah.
I love that. And the body, it grounds it in. Because I think especially for those of us who are on some sort of a spiritual path, however that may look, it's so easy to just, I want to be open and leave the body and not ground it in. And then actually I think you're not successful in business or life or whatever it is that you're really, like, why is it that what you're wanting isn't manifesting? And I think the body is the missing piece.
Yeah, we've got to have a body to manifest it. Yes, got to have one. So it's so interesting, like we talk a lot about manifesting, and it's really the combination of electrical energy in the body and magnetic energy in the body. And that's what makes the power in manifesting. And it comes from first recognizing what it is that we want to create, our desire. If you're in business, it also comes from actually knowing what your numbers are. I know so many people are like, oh man, I hate the numbers. And when you really start to look at what numbers can be, that they really can actually track the power of an intention, and then you start to see, wow, that intention and that thought just made me $5,000. Like, that's exciting.
That is exciting.
Because you start to see there's a huge connection between how we're really quantifying energy then. And I think that's the place we're headed in business is.
It's exciting.
Yeah, consciousness and cash is like the missing piece of the business conversation.
Because I still think, especially in business, it's kind of a taboo or woo-woo topic. It's still not really given a lot of, if had any credit,
right?
Which is I appreciate that idea of actually tracking. Okay, where money's coming in and where were you in your own mental, emotional, physical, energetic state of being,
right?
I'm curious about the magnetic and electric energy that you mentioned. That's like the key of manifesting. Like, what like in plain layman's terms, like what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
So what that really means is that, well, I'm going to talk about the numbers for just a minute,
Sure,
or
yeah.
something tangible, right? Because I think that so many times when we're talking in this energy conversation, it's often very intangible, and it's not real. You have to have really something you're very focused on that you want to experience, and that's why I love the numbers, because it helps us understand exactly what we're going to experience. Like, is it this number of clients? Is it this number of deposits? Is it a certain kind of client from a certain source, right? It's a number. And then we're applying energy, and there's many ways to raise your energy, right? Many ways of applying energy into the manifesting process. So it could be focusing on pleasure. It could be just mental thought, right? It could be the combination of both of those things, which is the sensual energy. And for all people, really, our sensuality is the most overlooked power that we have. It's that power of sensual pleasure, and applying that, literally manifesting with that. Napoleon Hill talked a lot about that. He kind of danced around the room on that
And
topic.
Napoleon Hill, if you guys don't know, is the author of Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich,
was
right?
published in like 1937.
Yeah, like
I
in
looked
the 30s.
because I was shocked.
Yes.
And he's talking about these concepts.
He's talking about these concepts, although he specifically was really speaking to men, of course, and I think that there's a different take on it for women, but the conversation is still as relevant today as it was then, and that really is, how do we create a reality that's deeply in line with our spiritual calling, our spiritual work, and make money with it. And I think learning how to do that is really the work of a lifetime, and it's really all about mastering yourself, mastering your own energy, and then following some very simple guidelines about however you're raising energy, whether that's sexually, whether it's pleasure of working out, whether it's thought energy that you're applying to something, but you're deliberately applying a form of human energy to a concept, and that will change it. Does it? Yeah.
It does. So I think what would I think it'd be helpful to walk through, like, let's give an example, right?
Okay.
So let's say, and this is, and if you're not in business for yourself too, I think this still applies for, say you want to raise at work, or a promotion, or you want to shift your relationship, your primary relationship, or maybe you're not in a relationship, or what, when you can, it's so applicable across the board. We're just relating it to increasing your cash flow in business. So let's say somebody wants to double their income for 2018.
Okay.
What could you walk us through? Like, so what is it? And you break it down, like, so we have a more linear for our as we're
so I'm going to
in
try
our
to
mental
compress
state.
that conversation into something really succinct. So if you want to double your income in 2018, the first thing you'd want to look at is how are you already measuring your business? When you think about the success in your business, is it number of clients? Are you tracking money coming in? There's a way that you're already tracking business, and that's what you really want to focus on. You want to understand what your particular key indicator is. Every business owner has a different one.
Okay.
So you want to understand
Your key
what that
indicator is what you measure
what you're measuring the success of your business with. So once you understand what that is, and then you understand, let's just say we're talking about money. So if you made $50,000 this year and you want to make $100,000 in the coming year, then you would want to look at the gap. So that's about $4,000, $4,000 and some change. So then I would break that back down. So to make $100,000 a year, you need to deposit about $2,000, a little bit over $2,000 a week, right? So what does that equate? How do we get to $2,000? If you're measuring money, it's pretty easy. Like, we know what that is. If you're measuring clients, how many clients equate $2,000 a week?
Okay.
Right? So then we come back to, okay, how are we going to focus on that, right?
Okay.
So this is just the energy part of it, and I'll try to dive into the more practical part of it too. So the energy part of it is, we're either doing something every day, or every morning, every evening, where we're totally focusing on, I'm going to deposit $2,000 this week. this is how it looks, this is a certain number of clients, and we're applying energy to that, either through our imagination. Some people do it through the raising of sensual sexual energy. It could be just through thought energy that you're using, right? Really, I think the most powerful, potent piece of it is the sensual energy, that, orgasmical manifesting, I guess you could call it, right? That Napoleon Hill was talking about. And so you're applying that energy to this number by thinking about it, right?
Okay.
And then you're also asking yourself, okay, in the past, how did last year, how did $4,000 a month show up? Was it through, I went to networking events and that's how I got clients, or I sent out emails and that's how people heard about me, or I do meet and greets once a month or something like that. Like, there's a way, if you look at it, there's one primary way that those people are hearing about you, your clients, and you want to do more of that, right?
Yeah.
You want to really figure out what is bringing that business to my doorstep and do more of it, right? And eliminate the things that really aren't working. And I think that eliminating the things that aren't working comes down to really trusting ourselves, like owning our own power.
Totally.
And
especially when there's so much we could and should be doing.
Right, we should be doing, Instagram, we should be on social media, we should be going to networking events, and that's just someone else's opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like someone else's opinion.
It's true.
You should do what feels good to you and what creates results for you. And focus on that. Maybe none of your clients come from networking, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe you want to ask yourself, why do I go to networking events? Or maybe none of your clients come from word of mouth. Well, if that's true, then maybe you want to focus more on your email marketing, right? There's something that's already working. We're going to focus on that. And it's not hard if you just are mastering yourself and really being okay with owning the desire to create something greater in the world, to have an expansive and profitable business. Those desires that we have really are, I believe, like a soul impetus, right? It's always leading us into something greater. Like we're generating an expansion. And so important to follow our desires.
Totally. Yeah. And I think that's a great key to really keep in mind, because I think that's where it comes in the body, because we all, I think, know about like affirmations and positive thinking, and that only does so much, because you can be like, I am amazing. I can say it however many times, right? But if I'm not actually feeling it in my body, then it actually falls rather flat. And I think really owning and feeling the desire, that actually does create an internal sensual experience, and it doesn't just have to be related to sex, right? That's just like one avenue. Sensuality and pleasure doesn't just mean sex. I think we don't know how to, in this culture, talk about sensuality in a way that's also like, could just be like, these pillows are velvet, right? Like really appreciating the texture of this velvet. And then as I'm feeling that texture, really feeling my desire into serving more people and to serving more clients or whatever it might be, as I'm like feeling that in my body. And that is, I think, what we need to be doing every day. Like what you're talking about with that energy, finding a way that works for you. So it's actually getting into your body. Right.
So the body is so important, because it's it literally, without a body, we wouldn't be walking around, right? And it's so many amazing things that we have as an opportunity, and expansion and spiritual growth with owning our own power and staying really focused and grounded in our bodies. So
thank you for all that.
This was a fun discussion.
I know. I love how we just like went straight in. So what would your number one thing be then, that maybe that's like a takeaway for somebody who's watching this, who maybe has set a goal for 2018, maybe they want to raise their business income, maybe they'd like to get in a relationship, maybe they're already in a relationship and want to improve that in some sort of, or in a business, maybe they just want to get a raise. What would what could you offer, like suggestion there? I know that's kind of a big question.
So I think what you're talking about is it doesn't really matter what the outside circumstance is that you want to shift or change, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not necessarily about money or a different relationship. What it's really about is, what is it that you really want? What is it that you deeply desire that maybe you've never even told anyone about, right? Mm-hmm. That desire that if you could experience that, it would be so satisfying, so perfect for you. That's what you have to focus on, because those desires are leading us forward. And so often we set aside our desires and we literally are saying no to the deepest part of ourselves when we say no to that thing that's so important to us, so nourishing, right? That's the place to focus. And then deciding, okay, what am I going to do to step forward into experiencing that desire, right? I think that's
I love that.
The key for 2018 is going to be owning our power, right?
Totally. And those deep down desires that maybe, you haven't shared or haven't even allowed yourself to really acknowledge or touch into.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Dawn.
Thank you so much.
And how can I know you have an awesome resource.
On the front of my site, on dawntodd.com, there is a free giveaway. It's called the Epic Business Accelerator. And even if you're not in business, you might want to grab this, because I did a rewrite of Napoleon Hill's Chapter 11 that's specifically geared for women. And it really talks about the concept of orgasmical manifesting and how we apply that to our life. And if you do have a business, it has some cool tools where it takes you through the process of measuring things. So, and it's very self-explanatory. So it's
very cool.
Could be a cool tool. It's right on the front of the site at dawntodd.com. So
awesome. And I'll put a link below this video so you can find it too. I love what a unique little blend, like the orgasm with the also tangible actually tracking sheets and how interesting. Our new paradigm for 2018 moving forward.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, Dawn, sincerely, thank you for your time for doing this, and it's been awesome to get to know Dawn better over the last year, and the work that she does is beautiful. So if you go to her website, just have a chance to peruse around and look more into that.
Thank you, Emily. I just adore you, so thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right.
See you later.